Mm. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Gandharvika Giridhari Radhika Raman Giriju Ki Jai. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janabalava Givanidhari Gopi Janabalava Givanidhari Yasoda Nanchana Braja Jana Ranchanan Yasoda Nanchana Braja Jana Ranchanan Jamuna Tira Banachari Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janabalava Givanidhari Gopi Janabalava Givanidhari Yashoda Nanjana Braja Jana Ranjanan Nanjana Braja Jana Ranjanan Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janabalava Givanidhari Gopi Janabalava Givanidhari Yasoda Nanjana Braja Jana Ranjanan Yasoda Nanjana Braja Jana Ranjanan Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jai. First of all, I'd like to offer my heartfelt Puspanjali to the lotus feet of my Harinam Diksha Guru, our Srila Prabhupada. Second of all, I'd like to offer my heartfelt Pushpanjali to the lotus feet of my Bhajan Shiksha Guru, Srila Gurudev, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and to Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to our entire Guru Parampara, especially to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and his Madhurya Kadambini, and also to Kartik Devi or Jayashree Srimati Radhika. Her month is coming. Okay. So we've been speaking a little about preparing for Kartik, and we're now in the last half of the third month of Chaturmasya. And so, of course, the fourth month is Kartik. So we're preparing for this, because this is the most special month, as we know. It's a month of Srimati Radhika, or Jayashree, Kartik Devi, Srimati Radhika. And this month is meant, and the whole Chaturmasya, actually our whole Sadhan Bhajan, not just during Chaturmasya, not just during Kartik, but our whole life, now that we've come to Bhakti Yoga, is meant to attain our seva to Srimati Radhika, for the pleasure of Srimati Radhika, to learn how to please her, to learn how to serve her, to attain our original Swarup, which is there in our Atma. That's what our whole Sadhan Bhajan is about. And Kartik time is a time when we get so much mercy, extra mercy from Srimati Radhika, extra mercy. So we've talked about some of the rules and regulations. Now today I wanted to talk a little bit about what the practice is that we always practice during Kartik. And of course, that the first and foremost is to hear Harikatha. Harikatha, especially from Satguru and Sat Vaishnavas. We hear the Harikatha, and we hear the Harikatha not just letting it go in one ear and out the other, but we really try and seriously hear Harikatha so it goes in our ear and goes into the heart. And it stays in the heart, and then it can come out through our mouth. And we can also repeat the Harikatha, and it will come into our mind so we can remember the Harikatha, and we can practice it. Now, Srila Prabhupada has said the words of the Guru, of Sri Guru, he was very beautifully said, we should meditate on them, we should worship them, and we should carry them out to the best of our ability. Now, we're not so qualified, but we try to the best of our ability, and we want to be able to carry them out very well. So just that desire to want to be able to carry them out is perfect, actually. But doesn't mean that we shouldn't try, even though we're not so qualified. We should try very hard to follow them very well. And when we can't, well, oh, please, please, help me, empower me to be able to carry them out so I can please you, Sri Guru. And our Guru is in the line, as we know, of Rupa Goswami, who's the the head of all the maidservants of Srimati Radhika. So this is, we're getting trained here first. What are the moods? What are the moods of a Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnava? What are their activities? And we learn that through Sri Guru, through Upadeshamrita, Manashiksha, all their teachings. Ukalika Valeri, Vilap Kushmanjali, like this. What are the external moods, the external activities, the internal moods, like this? And we try to follow them the best. And when we can't, please help me, please empower me. Because I can't, I really can't. I'm a tiny, insignificant fallen soul. I don't have the capacity. So you please bestow your chit ball. That means transcendental strength. Transcendental power upon me so that I'll be able to follow your instructions and carry them out, and I'll be able to somehow please you. Yes. So the Harikatha is for this, and okay. So also Kirtan. Harinam Sankirtan. Kirtan with like-minded devotees for the pleasure of Sri Guru, Gauranga, and Gandharvika Giridhari. And we sing the appropriate kirtans. And what's the most important kirtan for Kartik? Damodarastakam. We sing this every single day. It's a tradition of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, isn't it? In fact, they sing it twice a day. They sing it in the morning and the evening, but at least once a day. We sing Damodarastakam. And then in our line, we sing Munindra Vrindavana-vilasini, Namami Nandanandanan, so many of the prayers and the kirtans for the pleasure of Srimati Radhika, and begging for her mercy, and begging for the mercy of Krishna, so that he will request Srimati Radharani to give us her mercy, because it's all for her mercy. And then, of course, that is so that she will engage us in the service of Krishna. Allow us to assist her in her service to Krishna. Like this. And so then also we have Harikatha, we have Kirtan, and then what is so unique about Kartik is that this is when the Gaudiya Vaishnavas do Braj Mandal Parikrama. It's traditional. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur did it. All of the acharyas, everyone's done it. Rupa and Sanatan, they were going everywhere. Ha Radhe Vrajadevi Ke Jalalite He Nanda Sunokuta Shri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale Kalindi Vanye Kuta Goshanta Vitisar Vito Vrajapade Kedar Maha Vande Rupa Sanatana Shri Jiva Gopa. So they were going everywhere. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Like this. Of course, they're Siddha. So easily they would have darshan. Even though they were feeling so much separation, they were also going into their internal consciousness very easily. For us conditioned souls, it's not so easy. No, not so possible. So what is recommended? Recommended that we go with the Pranayi Bhaktas. That's the pure devotees, right? The Rasic devotees, Vraj Rasic devotees. And that's there's the Uttamadhikaris, the Majjhim, like this. So sometimes maybe The Uttamadhikaris are not present before us, but they're always present. That's why we do our pranams before our parikrama. And we call on, like for myself, I call Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, please, please, be with me, lead me on this parikrama, manifest, the glories of Vrindavan Dham to me, like this. Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami, all this, please, you're here, lead this parikrama, like that. Let me remember your instructions. And so they can come. They come with us if we're conscious like this. And we hear their Harikatha. We remember it. And then what else? The Kirtan, the Stavan Sutta. We offer prayers. We don't just hear the pastimes in the places, but we also offer prayers. Each place we go, we offer prayers, right? But there's something else that's extremely important. And that's to pray to the dust. The dust of every place, the dust of Vrindavan. And not in a proud way, and not so everyone can see us. Thinking, just see what kind of devotee I am. We should roll in the dust. Srila Narayan Maharaj has said that. Sanatana Goswami is Brihat Bhagavatamrita. Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur and his Vrindavan Mahimamrita. We should actually roll in the dust. But we should do it in a humble way. Mostly it's best that we do it where no one can see us. Because if we do it where people say, "I'll just see me, I'm rolling in the dust." Aren't I a good devotee? Aren't I humble? Like this. So we have to be very careful because we want to be awakening this mood of humility like this in our heart and keeping our minds focused on Srimati Radhika and not on what other devotees will think of us. We don't want that to come in. That's not favorable for us. And one reason why it's so favorable to roll in the dust is, I don't know if you remember, but in Brihad Bhagavatamrita of Sanatana Goswami, at the end of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, of the first part. Now, if you remember in the first part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Narada Muni is going to all the devotees. He goes from Bhishma, the Pandavas, Shiva, up he goes. He's looking for who is the recipient of Krishna's mercy. Who's the most beloved of Krishna? Who receives the most mercy? And finally, we go through so many pastimes, we find that it's the gopis and Srimati Radhika. And he's caused so much pleasure to Krishna, even though Krishna's fainted in ecstasy. The pastime of New Vrindavan, Nava Vrindavan is there. And Narada's feeling quite distressed. He's saying, "Oh dear, I've caused Krishna so much trouble. And so I've caused him anxiety because, the separation from the Brajbasis." But actually Krishna is very pleased. And he says, "No, remembering my dear most devotees is the greatest pleasure. So I want to give you a boon." And so Narada Muni actually asked for 3 boons. The first 2 are for himself. But the last boon he asked for, which is very beautiful, he says, "May those who even once faithfully narrate or hear your Vraj Leela or touch the places where you have performed those pastimes, may they attain Prem Bhakti for your lotus feet, which are tinted by the kumkum from the gopis' breasts." And then what happens? Krishna, it doesn't say Krishna, he says, then Gopinath, who is actually the Adhistatri Devata of Prem, of Prayojan. Gopinath, not Madan Mohan, not Govinda, but Gopinath. He's the one in, Prem Prayojan, like this. So then it says that Gopinath raises his hand, and what does he say? He blissfully says, "So be it. So be it." So we have the benediction from Gopinath that if we hear and narrate these Braj Leela, and if we touch the dust, Prem Bhakti will arise in our hearts. Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj would always remind us of this. So we should not be careless about this. We should not take it lightly. We have the human form of life. This is very, very rare. We won't go into that. We all know it's very rare. The example is given that if a turtle is swimming in the Pacific Ocean, which is from the material point of view, practically unlimited, right? And it's a small turtle swimming. And all of a sudden it comes up for air. And it just happens to come up. There was just this log floating, and the log had a hole in it. Just anywhere in the Pacific. And the turtle comes up with its head through the hole. How that is so rare. That's how rare it is to get a human form of birth. So we shouldn't take it lightly. It's a qualification we need to be able to practice bhakti yoga. What to speak of bhakti, to practice it, to attain our goal, which is prem. And prem seva, to attain darshan, and seva to Sri Radha and Krishna. To assist Srimati Radharani in her seva to Krishna. Because for us, we're serving Jugal Kishore in that capacity, like this. So this opportunity, especially, of course, we can go anytime to the places. We can hear Harikatha anytime. We can do Kirtan anytime. But especially in Braj, as we know, Rupa Goswami said, that's the essence of all advice. Be in Braj with your body and your mind and your soul, with everything. And if you can't, then definitely wherever you are around the world, make your heart and mind Vrindavan. And everyone should go on Braj Mandal Parikrama. And if they can't do it in person, they should do it in their mind. They should read the Braj Mandal Parikrama book. They should go on Braj Mandal Parikrama. They should meditate on the places, on the pastimes, the Harikatha, the Kirtan, rolling in the dust, praying to the dust. Especially now we see in Kartik. Because Srimati Radharani, she is so merciful. She's so merciful. In the second part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, we see how merciful is she. As we know, she was in Braja Vrindavan, spiritual, Goloka Vrindavan, Gokul Vrindavan, right? And she wanted Gokumar to come. And he's a fallen conditioned soul. So she arranges for him to take birth in Govardhan. She arranges for his spiritual master, Jayanti, to come. It was actually Krishna himself. She arranges so many things. And so finally, he attains a spiritual perfection and he goes back. And then not only that, we hear later in the second part that Gopkumar is telling his disciple, Jana Sharma, that, he's telling him all of his pastimes, everything that happened. And he puts his hand on his head and he attains prem. And what does he say? He said, Srimati Radhika sent me here for you. And I get more pleasure out of following her instructions than even out of performing my pastimes with Krishna as a cowherd boy. How merciful. She's Prem Guru. She's Karunamayi, Kripamayi, Srimati Radhika, like this. And we're in the line of her intimate maidservants. They can give. So just like she's merciful, Shri Guru and these Rupanuga Vaishnavas, they're so merciful. They want so much to help us become purified of all of our anarthas, to remove the anarthas, to bestow what? Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhav, and finally Prem. This is what they want. So we should take advantage of Kartik. Just like when we take advantage of Janmastami, Radhastami, Ekadasi, Madhvatiti Bhakti Janani Ekadasi Devi Ki Jai Ho. Kartik Devi's like that. So no matter where we're at, and even if our body isn't, if we're in Braj and our body isn't so strong, we do the best we can. But we try and take advantage. Go one place and roll in the dust. Pray to the dust. I can tell you a nice pastime. Years ago, it was in the early 90s, I was still in ISKCON. And three of my friends, my girlfriends, early in the morning, and things were different then, things were much more peaceful in Vrindavan at that time. We decided to go to Nidhaban. So we went to Nidhaban. Nidhaban wasn't all fenced off like it is now. And we went to Nidhaban, and we went and we decided, we want to roll in the dust, We want to get the mercy. And we were rolling, like a star. I think we had our heads together. I don't think we had our feet. Anyhow, we were rolling, we were praying. And then we thought, well, let's go over to the Rupa's Sanat and Gaudiya Math, because we knew Srila Gurudev, Srila Narayan Maharaj was there. This was early in the morning. We said, maybe we can get a little darshan. So we went over to the Math, and he was there, and he just happened to be going out, taking a few devotees with him on parikrama. And he invited us to go with him. And we went to Seva Kunj with him. We went to Radha Damodar. We went to Shringarvat. Then we came back. And on the way back, it was so beautiful. He stopped at Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj's Math, right across from Seva Kunj. And it was as if it had been planned, although it wasn't. He said, okay, now Puri Maharaj wants you to stay for breakfast. And we were like, wow, okay. So he left us there, and he went back to the Math with Naveen Krishna, Madhur Maharaj, and we were there. It was so beautiful, you know, to see this. And Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj was so happy to have us. And he was feeding us, of course, all South Indian, you know, idlis and all these things, you know, because that's their mood there, you know. And I remember this, I was saying, because I didn't know him really. I was in ISKCON, and I was saying to my friend, prasadam is so good. It's so good. And he walks over to me very grave, and he said, all Mahaprasadam is very good. And I know, whoa, you know, it was so sweet, so sweet. And then we went, now, but this is just some tiny little mercy coming from rolling in the dust, you know, of Nidhuban, like this. So we should, another time, because if we know from Srila Rupa Goswami's Utkalika Valari, the second verse of his Utkalika Valari is very beautiful. He's praying to Sri Vrindavan Dham. Rupa Goswami says, O Vrindavan forest, was there ever anyone in this world who did not quickly attain supreme transcendental bliss by serving you? So he's telling us, if we serve Vrindavan, we will attain that supreme Paramananda. Paramananda, that's transcendental happiness. Therefore, I surrender to you and most humbly petition you, be kind and personally disclose to me the best way to receive the darshan of my worshipful Lord Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. So he's praying to Vrindavan Dham, like this, in all ways. And one time I asked Srila Narayan Maharaj, Gurudev, what is service to Vrindavan? Well, I asked him about this verse. I said, first of all, you should know that Vrindavan is a person. Vrindavan's a person, like this. The trees and the flowers are her hair standing on end in ecstasy, like this. And he started to describe like this. Then he said, and Radha and Krishna are having their vilas there, all their pastimes there, within Sri Vrindavan Dhama's heart, you might say. And he described one pastime. He said, one time, Radha and Krishna, they were sitting together. And Vrindadevi comes with a lotus flower and gives it to Srimati Radhika and says, this is a kamal, this is lotus. And then Srimati Radharani, to make the pastime nice, she pretends like she says, I don't know what a lotus is. This is a certain kind of mood, Mugdagda, I forgot the name of it. Mugda, something like that. Yeah. It's where she, they know perfectly well what's happening, but they pretend like they don't. That's one of her bhavs. And so then some delightful pastimes are going on. And so Gurudev said to pray to Vrindavan, to be able to remember these pastimes, and for these feelings to come in our hearts, this is seva to Vrindavan. Not just sweeping. Of course, he did tell me always to go out and sweep. He told me to go to all the holy places and sweep. He did tell me that. But the real seva is to remember the pastimes, to pray for these feelings to come and these darshans to come in our heart. That is actually service to Vrindavan. So we should, and especially during Kartik, here. So the essence, and there's one other thing that we should do, that the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, as you know, we always do. We offer a ghee lamp every evening to our Takratis, a Gilam. We should do it every day, all year long, but at least during Kartik we should do this. We should do. And our very essence should be is to be how to awaken the desire in our heart for only wanting service to Srimati Radhika's heart. That should be the aim and object of all of our activities, everything. How can I attain service to the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika? How can I do this? And we should also feel that we're very fallen. And we should feel, because it's true, I haven't attained it yet. I haven't attained it. So please, please help me to actually become successful. And the reason why I've mentioned this is because in this part, now turning to the Madhurya Kadambini, we're talking about, this is very elevated, I'm not really qualified to talk about it, but we're talking, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is talking about the attainment of this goal. And what are the actual moods of the Premi Bhakta who actually is attaining Prem and attains Prem. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. This is the actual goal. This eighth chapter, eighth shower of Madhurya Kadambini is the goal. He's revealing the goal. What are the actual moods in the heart? You know, what was his practice like this? But before we actually move on into text 4, we're going to finish off a little bit in text 3, which is a very interesting part of Madhurya Kadambini, because before this, last week, we were talking about the different madhuris, the different sweetnesses, you know, of Krishna that he reveals. First, it was his beautiful form. Remember his form. Then his fragrance. Then his speaking and his hearing. So many different, so many qualities. So to finish this off, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur mentions that even apparent faults in Krishna are wonderful qualities. They're Madhurya. They're his Madhuris like this. So he mentions that there are 18 faults as mentioned in the scriptures. And Sri Krishna, and sometimes even Ramachandra as avatars, they charmingly, gracefully manifest these qualities. And then they become great attributes. And they charm the heart of the bhakta, and they melt his heart. Like this. And he gives references from the scriptures. So it's really beautiful. And this is all done, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, by the Kripa Shakti. The Kripa Shakti actually, somehow, by her mercy, she requests, actually, Bhagavan to manifest these qualities, these faults, out of his inherent nature. He actually has everything. How could there be anything he doesn't have? So and then they get transformed into wonderful qualities. They give, what do these do? They nourish the devotee. They increase his astonishment. Because this one part of prem ras, is astonishment. It's called chamatkar. Chamatkar, if there's no chamatkar, if there's no astonishment, there's no prem, there's no ras. Like this. Because it's ever fresh. You know, if it's the same all the time, you're going to get bored. It's really like the material was the same thing over and over and over. Oh, they went to the forest, the cows went with them. You know, how many times do you want to hear that? You know, see, but it's always, Krishna's ever new, ever fresh. So all of his qualities are ever fresh and ever new, and they give astonishment. The devotee is completely astonished and completely attracted. He's nourished, and he says, how much Krishna has so much affection for me. Is Bhakta Vatsalya, right? And so then he has his playful pastimes. And these faults, apparent faults in Krishna that are wonderful, they become sweet and they nourish his pastimes. And without them, his pastimes won't be so nourished, they won't be so full, and if they're not full, then his nature is the absolute truth as the Supreme Personality of Godhead will not be complete. So how can this be? Like this. So I was going to read a few of the examples that are given from the Shastras. The first one is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 13th verse, wait a minute here, 16, wait a minute, no, it's 10th canto, must be, anyhow, 10, 13, 16. So the quote is, after this, upon not seeing the calves and the cowherd boys in the bank of the Jamuna, Sri Krishna began searching for them throughout all the forests. Of course, this is in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, right? So this is an example of the fault of illusion. He becomes illusioned. But it's so sweet. Yeah, the devotees say, oh, how sweet. Krishna's searching for the cows. How sweet. Like this. Another one is from they're all from the 10th canto. No, not all of them. This one's also from the 10th canto. Once Sri Krishna, tired from wrestling with the cowherd boys, laid down in the shade of a tree on a bed made of soft leaves. He rested his head on the lap of a cowherd boy and fell asleep. What is this? There's 3 faults here. One is, they call it lassitude. That must be laziness, exhaustion, and too much exertion. These are faults. But it's so sweet.
Too much exertion.
That's why he got tired. He was just playing too much. He was playing and wrestling, and they won't stop. Even we heard before, Mother Yashoda comes to try and... First she sends Rohini to try and come and bring the boys home for lunch or dinner. And they just run away. They keep playing and playing and playing and playing. Finally, she has to come and trick them. So it's like this. Too much exertion. So they get tired. But why? The Supreme Personality of God, like Lord Narayan, probably never gets tired. You know, like this. But Krishna gets tired. He's so sweet, you know. He gets tired. You know? It's human-like pastimes. Human-like pastimes. And he goes to sleep. Okay. So now this is also from the 10th canto. Shri Baladev and Shri Krishna returned to their mothers crawling as if bewildered and afraid. So they must have seen something really scary, you know. So here we see bewilderment. But it's so sweet, right? The little babies are crawling along. They're really afraid. Who knows what they saw? Okay. Oh, so now the next one is, the motherly gopis approached Mother Yashoda and said, your son releases the calves untimely before they're being milked, before they've been milked. And we become upset, and when we become upset, he simply laughs and chuckles. So this is an example of lolata, restlessness, like this. And then another one, Vanamali, Shri Krishna, who wears a flower garland, honors his cowherd friends with eyes restless with pride. So here, well, we know he becomes proud. This is, pride is one. I'm just mentioning these because this is what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has emphasized. And there's another one here. This is an example of envy. When Indra sent forth torrential rain in an attempt to destroy Vraj, Sri Krishna said, I shall crush Indra's inflated false ego, which causes him to stupidly think himself to be the Lord of the 3 worlds. So this is envy. This is pride and envy. And then we also have anger. After eating dirt, Krishna said to his mother, Mai, I didn't eat dirt. They're telling lies. They're just lying. So he got angry. And also when he killed Jarasandha, we witnessed he had dishonest speech at that time. Okay. I'm not going to mention all of these, but that gives us an example. There's many more here, but I think that's enough. Oh, here. Okay, the last one. Oh, twice born, I am controlled by my devotees and have no independence in their presence. This is a statement of dependency on others, and that's actually a fault. But this is Krishna's topmost quality, depending on others. You see, on the love of his devotees. He becomes completely controlled by them and dependent. He's completely dependent, as we know, on Srimati Radhika. Without her, he cannot live. There's so many times we see that when Srimati Radhika's in Man, right? She won't talk to him. And he is so, he wants to give up his life because he's tried. He sent Brinda, he sent Subal, he sent Purnamasi, he sent everyone, and she will not break her pride. She will not. And finally, somehow or other, he goes himself in the dress of what? The daughter of a gardener, you know. And he comes with his basket, you know. And Lalita Vishaka says, oh, he's bribed them. He's met with them before and he's bribed them, so they know what's going on. So then he comes in, Srimati Radhika says, you're so beautiful. So I haven't ever seen you in Braj. He says, well, I live over here and I'm the daughter of a gardener. She says, well, what can you do? So he says, I can manicure the toenails, I can comb your hair, I can do so many things like this. And of course, as soon as he touches her to comb her hair, she understands, because no one can give her that kind of happiness simply by touching. And she smiles. And then Krishna, he sees, oh, this is what I wanted. Everyone's, he's dependent on her. He's not just Atmaram, self-dependent. Yeah, like this. So these particular faults, they nourish his Leela Vilas, like that. And they show his special favor, Bhaktavatsalya, and they also make his pastimes complete. Without them, his pastimes would not be complete. This is the opinion of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Gurudev's commentary here. And Srila Gurudev says that when the devotees, they realize these pastimes, including the faults, and how complete his body, they become so astonished and their heart completely melts. Like this. 100. So I haven't experienced this, so I can only repeat what I've heard. But this is what I know myself, I get really tired of like just, what do you call it, intellectual knowledge, right? Because I can pray, I can do so many things, but it gets really boring after a while in one sense, you know? It's like there's no, so I know myself, I'm praying one day, when will my heart melt? My heart, so I can feel this, so I can realize this, even to some tiny degree, even the level of ruchi, you know, the level of a Shakti, please, you know, because I've read everything. I've been everywhere. Yeah. But the heart is not melting yet, isn't it? So we're just really, really begging Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas, begging Radha and Krishna, begging Mahaprabhu, please, Bhava Bindu, one drop of Bhav. When, oh when will I become qualified to receive Bhava Bindu, Premadan, Sevamritadam? When, you know? But at this stage that we're in, that of course I'm in, Sadhu Sangha, Anartha Nivritti, you know, Bhajana Kriya. It's explained by Srila Gurudev, it's a difficult stage. And it's even dangerous. Because what happens is that the spirit soul wants happiness. The conditioned soul wants happiness, right? So because the conditioned soul is not necessarily experiencing so much transcendental bliss at this stage, he becomes attracted again to material happiness. Because he wants happiness. He wants excitement. You see? He wants these. He wants astonishment. So at this stage, we have to be very careful that we keep high-class sadhu sangha. And they will always remind us of the simple teachings in Bhagavad Gita. Nectar in the beginning, poison in the end. This is material sense gratification. Be careful. Be careful. Don't let Maya trick us. Don't go for it. Don't. Somehow tolerate. Tolerate the boredom, the hard heart. Tolerate. Just tolerate. And believe the descending Shabda Brahm coming through the Shastras, coming through our Guru Parampara. Believe it. There is transcendental happiness. It's a different kind of happiness. And this is eternal happiness. Just understand that if you control yourself, if you follow the instructions, and we do get some happiness. It's not like we don't. We would not be able to practice if we didn't get some kind of happiness. It would be impossible. Even when you first come, sometimes there's a lot of happiness comes because we have so much relief from material suffering. But then after a while, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult, right? Yes. So at that stage, we have to be very, very cautious of our association. And we have to have faith. Faith in the words of Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas, faith. Okay, if I just sacrifice my pizzas, my chocolate, my trips to the Bahamas, my needing to climb the mountains and be out in fresh air and all the different Maya tricks, or that handsome man and that beautiful lady, like this. She offers so many attractions, right? She's clever and she's more powerful than we are. So we have to have we have to have protection. We have to have help. And that is the sadhus. They are so strong. They can liberate a whole universe. So they can easily protect us. And it's actually Radha and Krishna, who are Istadev, they protect everyone. They maintain everyone, isn't it? This is surrender. And they're representatives. They protect and maintain. So we have to understand, Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, we pray, please, let me feel your protection, let me feel your maintenance, let me somehow follow your instructions and use my intelligence so that I don't get tricked by Maya. Because if I get tricked by Maya and I go for this kind of happiness, I'm going to get stuck in the material world, even if I'm chanting Hare Krishna, and go round and round and round and round. Because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has said, the only way we can get out of the material universe, the only way, anyone actually, well, how? It's in an article that he wrote called, I think it's called Raising the Temple of the Bhagavat. It was in one of our harmonies. He says, only by following Sri Rupa. This is the only way. We have to follow Sri Rupa. Because she's the one that is the origin of the bhav. That is our bhav, that's a potential in our heart. And only by the bhav coming from her, coming down through our Guru Parampara, coming down through our Rupanuga Guru, that our bhav will be awakened and will become manifest. There's no other way. Lalita can't manifest it. Radharani can't manifest it. Krishna can't manifest it. Maya can't manifest it. Only the Rupanuga Gaudiya, because it's like we've given that example so many times, It's like the rain from the Swati Nakshatra. It hits the oyster and a pearl is manifest. So only when the bhav from someone who has it comes and mixes and awakens our bhav, then if we follow the instructions, that's the water that nourishes it, isn't it? Because it can become manifest and then it can just shrivel up and die because we don't water it. It's because we're talking now about a bhakti lata, about a vine of devotion, right? And what's that? following the instructions of Sri Rupa as they come down through our Guru Parampara, hearing, chanting, remembering, all the practices of bhakti. Following Kartik Brat to our best of our ability, making Kartik one of the most precious parts of our life. Making the lotus, attaining the dust of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, our aim and object. So we have to get the mercy of Sri Vrindavan Dham, of Srimati Radhika, because in Vrindavan there's the footprints of Radharani. This is her foot dust, and the dust of all of her associates, her beloved Krishna, Lalita, Vishaka. It's permeated with what? With Bhav, with Braj Bhav. What is that? Selfless service for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. Rag. Rag means an unquenchable, I can't say it. Insatiable desire to make Krishna happy. Because this is why we're serving Srimati. We want to make Radharani. But why? Because Radharani is making Krishna happy. It's not that the Manjaris don't love Krishna. They love Krishna. It's Krishna Prem we're talking. It's not Radha Prem, it's Krishna Prem. But their love is so selfless. They're so selfless that they think, oh, if he enjoys with me directly, that's a lower happiness for him. He'll be more happy if Radharani is with him. So my desire is to serve Radharani, bring Radharani to Krishna, and then he'll be the most happy. So it's not that they don't have Krishna Prem, they do. But it's a top more selfless. And they have no other desire than to just be immersed in this ocean, nectarian ocean of service to the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. And this is our potential. This is our aim and object. This is the goal of our life. Like that. So now we're going on to text. I got a little sidetracked there. We're going on to text 4. I don't think we'll be able to finish shower 8 before Kartik anyhow. Hare Krishna. So now in text 8, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he starts describing the really amazing, the states of ecstasy of the Premi Bhakta. He starts describing what he's feeling, what's actually his darshans with Krishna. So the first thing that he talks about is how after Bhagavan, we've heard Bhagavan has given him darshan, right? And he's seen his form, he's smelled his fragrance, and he's completely absorbed and attracted by Krishna's sweetness, right? So now, Bhagavan Krishna, what does he start doing? He starts glorifying the devotee. He starts glorifying the devotee. The devotee is so. This astonishes the devotee because he's so humble. He does not feel like he deserves it, like that. So, at this time, Krishna says to his devotee, "Can you imagine? This is Krishna, and this is we're talking now about the first darshans." The devotee, the prema bhakti has. When prema is finally maturing, the beginning of the maturing of prema. Because after one becomes nitya siddha and one has entered lila, then so many times one has darshan of Krishna. But we're talking about the first time. The first time. This is so astonishing. And that's why the devotee's of course he's ever fresh, so Radharani's always astonished. She always feels like she's never seen him before, so... Prema is something beyond our wildest imagination. So anyhow, Bhagavan says, "O best of my devotees, for so many lifetimes," he's expressing his gratitude. This is Krishna. He's grateful to us, just like Radharani when he was talking about Gopi. She's so grateful. Oh, you've come to me, "O best of my devotees, for so many lifetimes you have abandoned your wife, your home, your wealth, and so forth for me. You've given up everything for me. only to serve me, you have endured so many miseries: cold, wind, hunger, thirst, pain, and disease. You totally disregarded the insults of others and maintained your life by begging. So it's not that Krishna doesn't see what we're going through. Sometimes we wonder, really, I'm suffering so much, I have no money. My wife has left me. My mother hates me. My father is just giving, all these things, and, everyone's insulting me, especially in the West. If you're a devotee, you go out, especially, they might even spit on you or whatever, Hare Krishna. So Krishna is seeing this. He has seen. And what does he say? Unable to repay you, I have become indebted to you. I'm completely indebted to you. For you, any kind of material, even if you became the emperor of the whole world, of the heavenly planets, the position of Lord Brahma, anything, nothing in the material world is suitable for you. I can't give you anything material. No position, no wealth, nothing. I can't give it. Thus, even though I'm unconquerable, today you have conquered me. I am conquered by you. And then he says, this is the most amazing part. He says, I am completely dependent upon you and your love and affection. And we can see that when we read the Bhagavatam, when we read, especially 10th canto, Krishna, his life and soul is the love and affection of his devotees. He can't live without it. He can't live without Srimati Radhika. He cannot live without Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba. He can't live without Sridham Saka, Subal Saka. He cannot. He can't leave any of his devotees. He's called Bahunista because he can't leave any devotees. The devotees are Ekanista. Why? Because they only have Krishna. They can leave their husband, they can leave everybody, and their only focus is Krishna. But Krishna, he cannot give up any devotee, anyone. You see? Like this. So, as Krishna's glorifying his devotees, so these kind of tender and compassionate words that Krishna speaks to the devotees, again, the devotee's heart is melting and melting and melting. He's astonished. His astonishment gets more and more and more. And Krishna, why is he feeling so indebted? Because the only thing he can give to the devotee is his service. That's it. They're completely selfless. So he's indebted. All I can do is give you service to me. And see, then he becomes indebted because you're serving me. Then I have to serve you. Like this. This is ras. This is prem. It's not just the devotees serving Krishna. It's Krishna serving the devotees. It's a relationship. One time Gurudev was asking someone, because in the song Yashamati Nandana Brajabada Nagara, he said, what's the definition of Nagar? And everyone's kind of going, well, beloved or lover or whatever. He said, no. There's Nagar Krishna and Nagari the gopis, especially Srimati Radharani. And Nagar and Nagari means Nagari is serving Nagar, Nagar serves Nagari. If they're not both serving, there's not Nagar and Nagari. And it's, of course, in amorous pastimes. It's in Madhurya Ras, Nagar and Nagar. And Nagari is amorous seva, like this. But they're both serving. And sometimes the Vishaya, the one who's the object of service, becomes the Ashraya, and sometimes the Ashraya becomes the Vishaya. Sometimes Krishna is serving Srimati Radhika. Now, how can this be? How can this be? He's God, right? He's God. And we hear, in the bhavs, Vibhav, you have Ashraya and Vishaya is Krishna, he's served, and the Ashraya is the devotees serve him. So what is this? But no, in Prem, they change their roles. And Krishna is, what is he doing? He's massaging the feet of Srimati Radhika, falling at her feet, like this. And the manjaris are really, they're only happy when they're not happy when she's serving his feet. They want to see him serving her feet. This is the secret in the heart of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. When there's a contest, when there's a water fight, right? Krishna and Radharani, and they're in, Radhakund. They're having a battle, a water fight, right? They're really having a water fight. It's lotuses, they're and they're water and everything, and they're all, like this. But if Krishna wins, the manjaris are very unhappy. But if Krishna loses, then they're very, very happy. And they're assisting and they're just bombarding Krishna. And Krishna's most happy when he loses, not when he wins. Even though his friends and all the birds are, oh, Jai Krishna, he's not so happy. He likes to also see Vrindavana-vilasini, the queen of Vrindavan, Srimati Radhika, the queen of his heart. She wins. Right, like this. So this is what we're talking about here. And this is the beginning for those who are just attaining prema. First they hear these amazing words from Krishna that they can't believe. He's saying, I'm indebted to you. They can understand when he says he's indebted to Radharani and the gopis in the 10th canto. Okay, that's understandable. But me? Me? He's indebted to me? That is, because the devotee at that point is humble. True humility has arisen in his heart. True humility. Like this. It's not, and humility and prema are side by side. As much humility you have, that's how much prema you have. Prema, humility, like this. So then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes the devotee's humility when he's glorified by Bhagavan, by Krishna. And this is actually quite beautiful. So then the devotee says, he prays, O Prabhu, O Bhagavan, O ocean of mercy, dragged by the current of this dreadful material existence, I am, he doesn't say I was, he says I am. So he's still seeing himself caught in the material whirlpool. I am caught in the whirlpool of suffering and am being devoured by crocodiles. He does not see that he has prema. Seeing this, compassion arose in you. And this is what he says, your butter-like heart. You have a heart like butter. And that butter-like heart, it has melted, seeing my unfortunate situation. Also, it's, I think, in Stavamala, Rupa Goswami talks about Srimati Radharani and begging her not to forget him and to bestow her mercy on him. And he also says, your heart, which is as soft as butter. This is just one of the only ways to describe the heart of Srimati Radhika and Sri Krishna. Their hearts is described also by Srila Rupa Goswami, that their hearts, butter-like hearts, flow to the most fallen. And the most fallen, even though they know they don't deserve it, but how could they not want this prema? How could they not want that? Because it's so attractive. Even though they know, so we're hearing it, we're not qualified, but it's all I want. It's all I want. So, and this is so beautiful. He says, oh Bhagavan, you appeared before me in the form of Sri Guru. And Sri Guru cut my ignorance and my lust. It's just like your darshan, like the Sudarshan chakra. It severed all the crocodiles that were making me suffer and saved me. Saved me. Sri Guru, you in the form of Sri Guru. And with the desire to make me a maidservant at your lotus feet, you had the syllables of your mantra entered the pathway of my ear and remove all my pain. So we should not be neglectful of our mantras. This is a mercy coming from Sri Guru. The mantras are non-different. Sri Guru mantra is non-different than Guru. Gaur mantra, not different than Gaur. Kam Gayatri, all these, they're non-different. So we should be very careful when we do our mantras. And then he says, this is what has brought, he's so humble, he's saying, through my repeated hearing, chanting, and remembering of your divine names and qualities, you purified me. So he doesn't say, I purified myself by hearing and chanting, or he says, you purified me. You yourself, by giving me the mantras and the Harinam mantra, and by me doing this, I have become purified. Oh Prabhu, he's saying to Krishna, you taught me the art of rendering devotional service to you. How? By granting me the association of your devotees. Like this. But he says, this is his humility. And this is someone, Premi Bhakta, saying, this is the thing, the Premi Bhaktas actually are humble. We see the Haridas Thakur, we see Rupa, we see everyone that we read in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and Shri, they're all so humble. He says, nevertheless, because I am unfortunate, foolish, and most degraded, I could not render even a day's service to you. I haven't served you at all. When will we feel it? Hare Krishna. I haven't done any service. Still, even though this most wicked person is punishable, instead of chastising me, you are making me drink the unlimited nectar of your sublime darshan. It's unbelievable. Really. Because we're never qualified, really. The only way we get qualified is when they give the qualification, isn't it? So, and then he says, and yet you're saying to me, I'm indebted to you. How is this? Are you mocking me? Are you mocking me? What should I do now? I've committed unlimited thousands and millions of offenses. So for me to pray for pardon would be nothing but taking shelter of impudence. Certainly my offenses are incalculable. Because if you think about all the unlimited lifetimes we've been here, yeah, it's pretty bad. So then he says, moreover, the powerful influence of my persistent offenses is such that even now I'm going on. He says, so let me suffer for the offenses still remaining. I will not pray to be pardoned. That's the level that comes. And Srila Gurudev has said, out of his intense humility, the Premi Bhakta does not beg for forgiveness, and he actually asks the Lord to punish him. Just punish me. I deserve to be punished. What a consciousness. I don't pray for that. I pray, please forgive me. Haribo, please, I'm sorry. And at this point, the devotee is so stunned and bewildered, he doesn't actually know what to do, because he's just thinking about all of his offenses. And the Lord is telling him how he's so indebted, how he's, how wonderful he is, how he's controlled him. So then what happens? The devotee, he says, and not only that, I've had the audacity to compare your divine form to material objects. When I was praising you and praying to you and making poetry, I would say, oh, your body is like a fresh rain cloud, like a blue lotus, like a sapphire. Your face is like the lotus, your lotus face is like the moon. Your lotus feet are like freshly sprouted leaves. Thus, I have declared that burned mustard seeds are equal to the golden Mount Sumera, or that fried chickpeas are like wish-fulfilling jewels, Chintamani, or that a jackal is equivalent to a lion. See? In this way, I am such a fool and I've committed so many offenses to you in trying to glorify you. Even this I haven't done properly. And so in doing this, trying to praise you, I've just declared what a fool I am. And I thought that my poetry was so wonderful and so brilliant. I was so proud. See, amazing. This is Premi Bhakta. Premi Bhakta. So then he makes a comparison. He says, no, actually. Where was that? Oh, this is a quote from the Krishna Karnamrita in the purport. And it says, this is Bilvamangala Thakur. O Prabhu. So he's the Premi Bhakta. He's saying, O Prabhu, with the same feeling that we're just hearing from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. O Prabhu, if you wish to hear my response, please listen. Poets, so then Krishna says to the devotee, well, how is it that all the old poets, they were praising me? How is this? How is it? So he says, if you wish to hear my response, please listen. Poets of old have seen your beautiful form in their deep meditation. They have compared your face to the moon and the lotus only because they were limited by their poetic ability. Truly, the moon is nothing but a camphor lamp, suitable for circling your lotus face in Arctic and then being put to one side. That's how foolish. So then what happens? At this point, Bhagavan, Krishna, he manifests his Dham and all of his devotees, all of everything to the devotees. He manifests Vrindavan Dham. He manifests Srimati Radhika, gives darshan. The Jamuna, Govardhan. Because he's so, what else can he give? He can't give anything. He manifests the holy Dham and all of his personal associates, all his near and dear ones. So, and then what happens? He disappears and he makes everything disappear. So the devotee is distraught in separation, completely distraught in separation. He has got, and then it's all lost. It's like attaining that Chintamani and then you lose it, like this. And Krishna explains why he does this. And I won't read because there's pages of how he feels at this time. It's quite a lot. How the devotee actually feels. He feels so intense separation. But Krishna explains in the Srimad Bhagavatam to the gopis, he says, my beloved Sakis, just as a penniless man, after losing wealth gained by providence, becomes so engrossed in thoughts of that wealth that he forgets all else. Similarly, to facilitate my worshippers' continuous meditation on me, I do not immediately reciprocate or give him my darshan. So it's just to intensify our eagerness, to make it more and more, and so that there's such an intense thirst, and as Srila Gurudev has explained, divine madness in the devotee's heart. He becomes mad, completely mad. And what do they say? Thus his life has attained success. This is the topmost perfection and success of life, is to attain this eagerness and this madness, this premananda in the heart. And then what happens? The devotee actually, even though he's in such intense separation, he never actually loses sight of Bhagavan. This is the thing. Because he cannot be separated even for a second, just like the gopis. Krishna's there. Even though he has disappeared, still he's there. And if you read the commentaries of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur for the Gopi Geet, in his commentaries, the gopis are having conversations with Krishna, getting upset. Why you aren't coming? Why? And then Krishna said, well, why? They're, because Krishna's actually there. It's their mind talking to like this, you see? So in this divine madness, Krishna's actually there. So even though there's meeting and separation, the separation is also meeting, and the meeting is also like this. That's prema. Prema has two banks. meeting and separation. So then what happens? The devotee, even though Bhagavan has disappeared, the devotee thinks, surely Bhagavan will personally bring me into the realm of his pastimes and grant me loving service to him, prem service. Thus, his life is successful. And so this section ends up with the devotee's entrance into eternal pastimes, Nitya Leela. So at this point, the devotee is so eager, and his madness has reached such a top, that what happens? His material body just disappears. He doesn't even realize it, because the material body cannot contain praying. Not possible. Not possible. So it just disappears. And his spiritual body is fully manifest. And his spiritual body is his own personal mood of seva, prem seva. That's what our body will be made of. We won't have to worry about taking medicine. Oh, God, it'll be such a relief. Hare Krishna. You know, it's just everything is spontaneous. This is ragatmika, raganuga, rag, spontaneous. It's coming from the heart. We don't have to learn it, you know. So at that point, Krishna personally comes and escorts us to Goloka Vrindavan. The last part of this 8th chapter, which we'll hopefully read next week, kind of goes deeper into this, the more the philosophical aspect of it. But this is the actual Leela of entering Nitya Leela. This is how the Premi Bhakta, his bhakti has matured and matured. It's gotten finally up, it had some leaves and finally got buds. Then there were flowers. Then the prem came. And then Krishna came as that bumblebee and enjoyed and took the nectar from the fruit like this. And the devotee, he leaves all this, but we forget. Actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, at this point, we forget all the past. We will not remember all the things that we don't want to remember. They will be gone. Everything will be gone. It's actually an illusion, because we're the spirit soul. The spirit soul is the reality. All this conditioning is just an illusion. It's like waking up from the dream. You see? We'll wake up. And when you wake up from a dream, you might for a few minutes remember a little something. So that's more like in the stage of Ruchi, Ashakti, when we're starting to and prem, it's all gone. Only for us, Gopi Bhav, Gopi Manjari Bhav. That's all there is. There's nothing else. But we do, even though everything's natural for us, Sadhan Siddha, we will get trained. We go to the sphere, to the planet where Krishna is having his pastimes, Prakat Leela, and we get trained by the Nitya Siddha Gopis on how to perform proper seva. It is explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that sometimes Sri Rupa Manjari will take us to Radhakund and teach us so many things. Sometimes Srimati Radhika, sometimes Lalita. Okay, I think I've gone way over time. Hari Hari Bol, Vanchakapatuvista, Kripa Sindhu Vivita, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Who's going to say?
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva,
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari, Gandharvika Giridhari Radhe,
Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari, Gandharvika Giridhari Radhe.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol,
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Srimati Radhika ki Jai, Kartik Devi or Jai Shri ki Jai ho.